Yo, what's up, guys? I wanted to make a video about my new Vayne build. I've gotten a lot of questions about what's the best first and second item to rush on Vayne, what's the best overall Vayne build, and I'd like to answer that question. Um, I like I like static shift first right now, and before you jump on me and say, "Oh, Vayne's a duelist, she should build Phantom Dancer. It gives her damage reduction, blah blah blah, gives her more attack speed." Vayne is already a good duelist. I'd say she's the best duelist. If I feel that a perfectly played Vayne can 1v1 pretty much any champion in the game. For the most part. I mean, there's some exceptions. You know, uh, Rise, for example, might might do pretty good against Vayne in a 1v1. But for the most part, Vayne is just a really good duelist. Really, really good duelist. She has percent max HP true damage. She gets an insane amount of AD for her ult. She has invisibility. She has mobility. And she's nuts. She's just simply put, she's just a really good duelist. So instead of building an item that also ties into that attribute of Vayne, I feel that you don't need a Phantom Dancer to be a good duelist on Vayne. I'd rather build an item or items that cover up a weakness of Vayne. And what is Vayne's biggest weakness? It is not being able to take towers. It is not being able to push lanes. And I'll show you, like, this wave clear is just phenomenal. Look at this. Instead of spending time having to auto-attack each of these creeps 3 times, for the most part, I only have to auto-attack each creep once. Sometimes twice. I just annihilated that wave before my wave could even get to it. It's pretty nuts, right? So, what happens when I shove out the lane like this? Well, the enemy ADC has to go. The enemy ADC has to go and collect that wave, or somebody on the enemy team. So it creates a numbers advantage wherever I decide to go after I do that. Look how long it's taking him to shove these creeps. If he had a static shiv, it wouldn't take this long. Or if he was, you know, Lucian or whoever, it wouldn't take that long. But in the meantime, not only does he have to shove that lane out, which is a time-consuming process, he also has to walk from bottom lane all the way to mid. But it's too late by then. We're already under the tower. We're already in a position where if we want to dive, they can't safely stand under tower. They have to back off between it, right? So even if Twitch does get here in time, it's too late because we already have zone of control under the tower. And this is why I like static shiv. Why buy an item that makes me better at dueling, which Vayne is already fantastic at, when I can buy an item where I can just shove people in and group mid with a numbers advantage. And I'll fast forward it to make my point. Meanwhile, Twitch walked bottom to shove out the bottom lane, right? Look how long it takes him to do this. And he's He has done nothing except ulted mid, and he's Why is he Because he's had to use his abilities on the wave. So he can't shove out and do anything after. He has to shove out and recall, where I just go get to farm the wave, and I don't have to use any mana to farm the wave. Look how effortless this is. It gets even better when you get Infinity Edge, because instead of only critting with your static shiv proc 30% of the time, you crit with your static shiv proc 50% of the time. It's insane wave clear. It's almost unmatchable. I mean, there's champions that can match it, but they'll do just that. They'll just match it. They won't outshove you. Shiv is just nuts, and virtually nobody's building it. Well, okay, I lied. Lucian's building it. Jhin is building it. There's a few champions that build it, but I think it's just immensely underrated right now. And I genuinely feel that it's the best build. It turns Vayne from a champion that isn't good at pushing to a champion that's got insane wave clear. Just by purchasing one item. Look at that. That right there is exactly what I'm talking about. This exemplifies my point. Watch this Shiv crit on these creeps. One, two, three, 4 creeps with 1 auto attack. It's almost impossible to match. Unless you're building a Shiv as well. So, why would I build Blade of the Rune King and a Phantom Dancer when I can just take Warlords and go static Shiv into IE and clear waves with pretty much like 4 auto attacks? I just don't see it as worth it. I just think that static Shiv is quite possibly the most underrated ADC item in the game right now. I've been having fantastic results, by the way, with this build. I went from having difficulty winning games to just these types of games where you win lane and you shove your opponent in, and there's just simply nothing they can do to come back. Because they're always on the back foot, they're always reacting to your push. You're dictating when and where they have to go. I just think that Shiv is just insanely good right now. Look at this. Okay, Gangplank. Gangplank took my farm, but watch this. It's just so quick and efficient. And it forces Yasuo into the bottom lane. And it forces their 0-3 Twitch with 165 farm to go mid lane, and he dies. And I'll just fast forward the game a bit. Like, I have 220 farm at 24 minutes. It's pretty ridiculous on Vayne. That doesn't usually happen. This almost never happens. Vayne, I get a kill, and instead of fighting minions tooth and nail for a solid minute, trying to shove it, I'm shoving it out with a few auto attacks because of the Shiv crits, and I get a tower before the enemy team even knows what happened. This is how you snowball a lead. This is how you win games in especially games that are lower than the diamond level. I think platinum and below, it's the biggest issue in league, in those elos, closing games out, not throwing your lead, not giving the enemy team ways back into the game. And I think Shiv really helps with that. So I don't know about you guys. I really genuinely feel that Shiv is Vayne's best first item. I've gotten a lot of flack for it. A lot of people are questioning me on my build when I stream, but results are pretty telling. And when I'm winning the majority of my Vayne games now that I'm building Shiv first, and I was losing the majority of my Vayne games before I started building Static Shiv, when I was trying to make Bork first work, when I was trying to make Phantom Dancer first work, when I was trying to go with the Phantom Dancer Bork builds. This is the build, in my opinion. This is the build that makes Vayne at least viable. It covers upper weakness, and you guys should just, give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how it goes. It takes some adjustments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure like, favorite, whatever the fuck else you guys do. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.